Ebony and Ivory.
Hello. Welcome to the Mirror Effect, where I am your host, Ebony, and this is your co-host.
I was about to say my name,
Ivory. Well, you can, but she has two names. But tonight she's going to go with Ivory because we have personalities.
Yes, we do.
And we're going to talk about it. So, Ivory was so kind to bring us some delicious red wine that we will be drinking. So, toast to the Mirror Effect and us. We got a couple of great topics that we're going to be talking about tonight, so we hope you enjoy. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share our video because we are trying to reach out to the community. Anyway, so, Miss Ivory.
Yes.
How does your wine taste?
Tastes really good. Very sweet. Very sweet. It's a sweet red wine.
I like that. It's not too sweet.
Not too sweet, not too bitter. It's just,
it tastes kind of like plum.
Yeah, like plum. Yeah.
Okay, let's see what's in this. Grapes, of course. Let's see if it has anything else in it. Okay, combined with natural flavors of blackberry. That's what I'm tasting.
Yeah.
Blackberry, blueberry, and raspberry. Full bodied with a hint of sweetness. Served chilled, which she did. And you can serve it with fresh fruit, cheese, spicy cuisine, and dessert. Which we have none of that right now, but maybe later.
Maybe later.
Okay, so our topic tonight is what makes you feel appreciated. We are pretty much always looking to be appreciated. I know I am. What about you?
Me too. I don't get appreciated much at all.
And you don't get appreciated much at all?
No.
Well, let's talk about that. So, first of all, what makes you feel appreciated?
When someone actually tells me thank you, I appreciate you. Let's see, thank you for doing this for me. Just the et cetera, the normal stuff that
people sometimes, most of the time, overlook.
Yes.
And that's unfortunate. And excuse my phone because it's ringing.
My phone's going off.
Well, that is a big topic because a lot of people are feeling unappreciated nowadays. And how, with you saying that you feel unappreciated, how do you think that affects you?
Well, it really puts me down. It makes me just don't want to get up, don't want to do anything, just kind of, why am I doing this? What is the point?
So, because, we by the way, we haven't got into, who we are and where we come from, but we are both hairstylists. So, we have a lot of things that are common, but we also come from different walks of life. So we will be talking about different scenarios and topics that will come from different experiences. And this is where your cousin comes in.
Yes.
To edit. Hello. Sitting here talking to my coworker. How are you, baby? Oh, you on break? Oh, can I call you back, baby? Okay, I love you. Okay.
My phone's going off like
I'm sorry,
crazy.
guys. You know what? This goes back to feeling appreciated. Because had I not answered that phone call, somebody would have been feeling some kind of way and not feeling appreciated for all the hard work that they do for me. So, anyway.
Yes.
Now, back to what we were talking about. I'm sorry. So it makes you feel okay. So we share space together. We work together.
Yes.
Okay, and I'm gonna tell y'all, this woman is a hard worker. I appreciate you. So if I have not, I think I tell you that, but I'm gonna tell you again that I do appreciate you for all your hard work and dedication to a company and to your coworkers, your manager, you know, all of the above. You know, you are a stand-up type of queen.
Thank you.
Yes, ma'am. And you deserve to be appreciated. So I'm going to give you that.
Thank you.
Because you do a lot for a lot of people, you know, just here, you know, in our shared space. So I'm not at home with you, of course, but if, you know, you should definitely be appreciated. And so saying all that to say, when you say, it makes you feel like you don't want to get up and do stuff, you know, but yet you still come here and you do stuff.
And I still do what I have to do.
That's right. So
I was the way I was raised. No matter how you feel, you got to get up and you got to keep going and just hit the floor running. Just keep going and do the best you can. And a lot of times, you know, if you don't get appreciated, it's fine. But you know, that's what we need. We need that more frequently.
That's right.
Than getting it, you know, every once in a blue moon, like on holidays or like a Mother's Day or your birthday. You need to be more appreciated every single day.
That's right. I agree. So I like the way that you touched on how you were raised, because I'll be honest, I was raised completely different. You know, I wasn't raised like my mother, my parents. They didn't make me. They didn't say to me that. They never said anything like that to me. Pretty much, you know, if I was having a bad experience with something, you know, they would come to my rescue. You know, and almost, you know, tell me that I don't have to deal with anything that makes me feel like that.
Yeah.
You know?
I know.
And so, but this is where me and you talk about a lot, some of our differences. You know, how you deal with certain things and then how I deal with certain things. And I think we learn from each other and kind of take and choose, you know, what we can apply to our own situation. So, you know, we're trying to reach out. We want to know if you're watching, you know, and we hope that you are and enjoy. We want to know, you know, how do you feel appreciated? Like, what are some things that make you feel appreciated? And are you even appreciated at home? And if you're not, how does that make you feel? So leave some comments. Give us some feedback. Ask us some questions. We want to know. Okay, so moving forward, what are some things that the people that, you know, are in your life or in your circle, you don't have to be specific, but what are some things, I know you said that they could say thank you, but sometimes thank you is not enough.
No, it's not.
Especially when you've been neglected, so to speak, you know, or unappreciated. So what are some specifics? Like for me, I love to feel appreciated. I like people to follow through on things. You know, how do I feel appreciated? I mean, that's a very good question.
It's a very good question.
I do like thank yous, of course. I like gifts.
Gifts?
I do. I love gifts. They can be heartfelt. You know, it can be a poem. It can be a card. It can be a letter. It doesn't have to be very expensive. But I do like gifts. That makes me feel, you know, appreciated. Flowers, you know, let's go out to
based
eat.
on that. That's what I like. But I don't get that.
Right.
You know, I don't get that.
So what else? So you would like to, so what are some things that you would like? You don't get, but you would like.
What I would like is to where, I'm just going to say it, you know, when I'm coming home from work, I don't have to, and someone's off all day, they need to cook dinner, tell me to sit down and relax. And, you know, or even just while I'm at work, you know, text me during the day and tell me, how is your day going, you know, stuff like that. Just small, it don't even have to be a gift. It's the thought that counts. If you are either off or if you're at work and you get a break, just send a text. Say, hey, how's your day going? You know, or I miss you, or I love you, or just stuff like that I can get.
Right.
And it's just not there.
Right. Okay. And you know, and so that kind of like me answering that phone call. You know what I mean? Because you do want to take the time to let the person in your life know that they are important and you are thinking about them. I feel appreciated when my man calls me. You know what I mean? Like, I had to stop what I was doing just now to answer that phone call so he can know that he's also appreciated for reaching out to me. You know? So, we need to take time to appreciate each other and just take that extra step, to find out what your special person needs, because we all are alive in needing and wanting, like Maslow's hierarchy of need. Like, we all have these needs, and it is our job to each other and to ourselves to make sure those needs are met. Would you agree?
I agree.
Okay, so what's our next topic? Okay, so I had a topic that I wanted to bring up. I know we were laughing earlier about the flesh-eating bugs in the prison.
Yes.
Well, so what that was all about is there apparently somewhere here in Georgia. Did you hear about that?
No.
There was a man, and apparently he was a special needs man. Mm-hmm. He was in jail for whatever reason, I don't know. But he was eaten alive by bed bugs in one of the jails here.
Oh, wow. I didn't know
Eaten alive.
Oh, Jesus.
Wow. That just doesn't even seem real.
No,
but it's absolutely real, and it was on the news, and
that's weird.
It's
well,
just...
see, that's going back on that topic. There was, the Rawson Towers downtown, that big old building down there. My grandmother used to live there when she was alive, and it was great, but they started getting bed bugs. And a lot of people were getting, eaten up, but not like completely eaten alive, but they were getting bites and sores, and a lot of these elderly people, they have, certain things that if something
bites them
or hurts them or anything, or they get hurt, they don't heal. And I think I think there was a man that was up there. It was hot too, so they kept it hot in there. So they're breeding. So a lot of the elderly died because of the heat and the bed bugs.
So that's the thing. So
so this
guy got eaten alive in jail.
Wow.
And I just couldn't imagine. I mean, have you ever experienced bed bugs?
No.
I've experienced bed bugs. I had someone move in with me one time, and I'm not gonna say who she was, of course, but she was moving out of her home, and it was kind of urgent. She was moving out of her home urgently, and so she asked me if she could come and stay with me until, her place was ready or whatever her situation was at that moment. And of course I said yes, because at that moment, everyone, I didn't know anything about bed bugs. I heard of the old phrase, sleep tight, don't let the bed bugs bite.
Yes, my parents told me that all the time.
I had never,
I never knew it was real. I mean, and I've never experienced that. Now, I know someone that did experience that was going through that, and I had to make someone that was coming home strip down because she was with.
And you better.
Yeah, strip down and come in the house.
And you better, because those
I didn't want them in the house. And that's just,
Exactly.
I mean, that would freak me out.
Yeah. So the lady needed to move in, and I said yes. And because I had a big house. Yeah. And I had a full basement that was like an apartment, so it was no big deal. She could move down in my apartment. She could help me pay the rent. This was my mindset because I had just got out of a relationship with somebody. We broke up, and I was there, and you know how the story goes. So I'll let the girl move in. So next thing, a few days go by, whatever. She's in the bathtub. It didn't take long. If she had maybe only been there maybe 2 or 3 days, she was taking a bath and she screams. Now, mind you, I have been living there for about 2 years or so, right? She's in the bathtub. She screams. And so I'm like, what's wrong? Because I get irritated by stuff like that.
Mm-hmm. I do too. You're not the only one.
So I'm like, what's wrong with you? And she's like, there's a bug. And I'm like, well, what kind of bug? That's going to make you scream like that. And she's like, I don't know. I've never seen a bug like this before. I said, well, what does it look like? She says, it looks like a bed bug. Now, mind you, y'all, I've never seen a bed bug. I don't know what a bed bug looks like. Okay? But she claims that it looked like a bed bug to her. So as soon as she said that, I let her go get dressed. I told her, I said, well, why don't you catch it? I said, catch it so I can see it. Whatever she said she did something with it. Well, I already did. Whatever she did.
Whatever she did. Yeah, those things are hard to kill, though.
So I go downstairs immediately, as soon as she said it. Because now I've been living here all this time. I've never seen a bed bug. I've never been bitten. Not by a spider or any of the above. Okay?
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm.
So now she's saying that she's seen a bed bug. I still have not seen a bed bug, felt a bed bug, or even knew that a bed bug was a real thing. But I did know that she had just moved in my house and she had just brung her shit. Excuse my language. So I go downstairs to her bed.
Oh, no.
I go straight to her bed. And I pull up the sheets. And what do you think I saw?
Bugs.
Bed bugs.
Oh, God, that would kill me. I was like, no.
It did.
That would be awful. Oh, wow.
It did.
That's
so
awful.
I went upstairs and said, come and get this shit out of my basement now. I helped her get that shit out. Mm-hmm. And I put all that shit in the garage. And then she tried to play me like it came from me.
Oh,
She's like, oh, well, do you think it came from those shoes? No, they didn't come from the shoes. My shoes have been here for the past 2 years. And we have never seen a bed bug. And they sure in the hell ain't going to just magically come out and climb on your mattress.
Mm-mm. They've been breeding.
On her mattress.
On her mattress.
So I called the exterminator because in Indiana, it was a big epidemic with the bed bugs there too.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because a couple people.
I remember that. They had talked about that on the news. Yes. I remember
it was a big epidemic in Indiana with the bed bugs. Yes. She brought them to my house. So we got all the stuff out. I called the exterminator because I didn't know what to do at that time. And had him come in. He didn't find a trace of a bed bug anywhere in my house. I take him outside to the mattress. I said, well, just come and look at this mattress. And because I took this mattress from the basement, this woman brought it in. Sure enough, he identified that the mattress been having bed bugs. Oh, because he could tell by whatever was left on the mattress.
Well, that and
the residue. The fucking bug shit.
Yeah, ugh. Gross.
And blood stains.
Ugh.
From it sucking the fucking life out of somebody.
Oh, God.
Yeah. Ugh. So anyway, make a long story short, they did end up with, because I bet you this is how this happened. I never thought about this until just now. That bed bug that she saw in the bathtub
was on her
body. And I bet you she didn't kill it. The bitch probably flicked it in my damn bathroom because next thing you know, I started getting bites.
Oh, yeah, no,
That's probably what she did.
That's probably exactly.
Because I asked to see it and she tried to act like she had already disposed of
it. No, she just flicked
You
it
flicked
off.
that shit off, bitch. Mm-hmm. And you know who you are if you ever see this. we got into it about that because you brought bed bugs to my house, and then she tried to play it like it was me. Like she came to my house and brought her nasty stuff to my house, and she got it from my house.
That's wrong. That is so wrong.
I didn't really care because you know what? I know you bring that shit to my house.
Yeah, you know she.
And I'm a smart woman, so what I ended up doing, because I didn't have the $500 for the exterminator to come and treat the house. Plus, the exterminator didn't find bed bugs in my house anyway at that moment. But as time went on, that one that she flicked off in the bathroom ended up
breeding
in my house.
Oh gosh.
So it wasn't a bad case because I caught it fast enough because I already was aware. I don't like bugs and I don't like nasty, so you know how I am. You know what I mean? I went through and I cleaned everything, and then I got this stuff called diatomaceous earth, which is my favorite powder on earth. I don't know if you ever heard of it, but I'll tell you about it in a minute. But it's basically fossilized plant cells, so it's a white fine powder.
Okay.
And what you can do is, what it does is it will attach to bugs their exoskeleton. It's like the powder is like a crystallized form, and that powder attaches to the exoskeleton, and then it dehydrates the bug. Oh. So it'll do this with anything. In the food grade, what I use, you can drink it or put it in your food, and it gets rid of parasites and all kinds of other things. It does a lot of good things for the body. That's diatomaceous earth, if you guys want to get into it. I actually just gave one of my other clients some of it. I sell it if anybody needs some. But I sold one of my clients some because she had hemorrhoids, real bad hemorrhoids. And I told her to take the powder and you just pack that shit on your ass. And I called her a few days later. She said, "Oh, I love it." So I left it at that. I didn't want to know too much information, but she said she loved it, so good deal.
That's good.
And that's that. So, how's your wine?
Very good.
Hey, even yours is more emptier than mine.
Yeah, because I've been drinking mine.
Okay.
Let you catch up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been drinking mine.
Okay. So, of course, we have a lot. I have had a lot of topics that I wanted to talk about, so we can just talk since we're here. Do you have anything, Nick? If not, I like to talk.
I know you like to talk.
So I'll keep, you just jump in whenever you want to. I'm not going to take over the show all the time, but I got a lot to say.
Yeah, you do have a lot to say. She really does, to be honest. I work with her every day, so yeah. Period.
So yeah.
And I'm the same way. I have a lot to say too,
exactly.
But I just kind of.
Yeah, you got a lot. You have a lot of information. We just come from different standpoints.
Yeah.
I love it. Yeah, because you got a lot to say too.
Yeah,
you just gotta say it.
I know.
That's what we're getting to. I talk too much, and she don't talk enough, and together we're gonna balance it out.
So, all right. Let's see. Well, I want to know more about when you're growing up, your background.
Okay.
How you're raised. I'm giving you a little bit of mine.
Okay.
And I'll give you more.
Of course.
You just give me what you
Okay, so we can talk about our backgrounds and things like that. Well, let's see. I got a lot of different, I'm a very interesting person, I would say. My mother, of course, is German. My father, my biological father, he's from America, Indiana, to be exact. But so that kind of brings, a big cultural difference for me, just within myself. My mother moved in when she was about 17, maybe a little bit younger, but Indiana, I know she was there about 17 years old. I'm believing. I think she started out in California and they worked their way. They were military. My grandfather was military. He was black. Then my grandmother, German, of course, and she's German.
Of course.
And so, back then, you know what? Back then in the 50s, I'm thinking it was the 50s, racism was still a big thing. And interracial marriages
was a really big thing.
Was almost against the law, probably. Maybe just now phasing out. Yep. Maybe just beginning to phase out when they got together. My German family actually disowned my grandmother.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. Now, there were some of them that I still know and grew up. I have a cousin named Maria. Yes, Maria. Haven't talked to her. We used to be pen pals. But anyway, we still have family over there that, you know, we were still embraced and were close to. But there were some family. They pretty much, you know, shunned her for marrying a black man. I ain't gonna get my grandfather had it going on. No, he was fine. She wasn't gonna leave. If she would have passed it up. Listen, my grandfather took very good care of my grandmother. You know, put her up in my family in Germany, they were royal people. I don't know the whole history behind them just because it's just a cultural gap and cultural difference. But they come from a royal family, whatever that means. My mother actually used to go and have tea with the queen when she was young.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they come from that. You know what I mean? And they came to America. And my grandmother basically walked away from her whole family and never went back. Never went back when she left, you know. Yeah. I didn't think about it as my grandmother was growing up, what big thing she had did. Because she walked away from her entire family and came to America, a place she never knows nothing, you know, never been.
Never been.
And raised a black family.
Hey.
You feel me?
I feel you. You know, and that's the thing is back then that was, you know, if you ever watch a lot of, I'm just gonna say I'm a classical turn classic movie.
Right, me too.
You know, type of person.
That's right, me too.
And back then that was unheard of.
Exactly.
You could not. That was the worst thing. And you know, like I said, to me, I feel like it really doesn't matter if you love somebody.
That's
right. It don't matter where their background is, what color they are, or who they are. Right. If you love them and they treat you right, go for it.
Because the thing is this: just because a person is, you think a person is from a particular culture based on their skin tone.
Yes.
A lot of people, and I'm not saying that it's not warranted. But a lot of people just group everybody into the same boat.
Yep.
And think really that they're all the same. That people are all the same. Not just with one background, but everybody does that.
Yeah.
Sometimes. You know what I mean?
Yeah, so that is true.
So what my grandmother knew who my grandfather was. And he was an extraordinary man. You know, he was an extraordinary man. They don't come like that too often anymore, you know. But she saw it in him, and she went with it, and, you know, here I am today, and I'm thankful. But saying all that to say, that's where my, you know, where I come from. You know, I come from, I say, a royal, you know, adversity. You know what I mean? Because it was a lot of controversy, you know. And then so my mother was raised. My grandfather held that royal. He made sure my grandmother stayed at a royal level, you know, as he was taking care of her and raising her children and her grandchildren, which is me. You know, I mean, he really set the bars high, and that's where I come from, you know. But then my father, on the other hand, you know, and I have two of them. My biological dad, and then I have a stepfather who raised me. My biological dad don't like to hear that, and I have not admitted that in front of him for a long time, but, you know. But my stepfather who raised me, my biological dad is a gentle spirit. He's a very fly guy, very handsome man, you know, fair skin, green eyes. ladies' man, but he valued marriage in the church, but it is what it is. And then my stepfather, who came into the picture, he kind of ran my biological father off, took the spot, and that's who raised me. And he was a gangster. He was a veteran. He went to the Vietnam War, and a musician. Mm-hmm. And that's who he was. And so I got a lot of all of that, the music, which we like to talk about, a lot about music and things like that. And then I learned the life of gangsters and street life, drugs, violence, a lot of things that I experienced growing up. But then I had my grandparents, and they balanced me out, and I'm thankful for them because they showed me a side of life that I may not have gotten without them, Yeah. So that's who I am today. I'm a product of domestic violence. My mother was abused for many years, and I ended up growing up as the abuser, as an abusive person, and I have done a lot of soul searching and self-reflecting and healing from my trauma, my past experiences. So I've changed. I'm not that person anymore, but I'm sure a lot of time it flashes out, and I'm sure you've seen it a few times.
Yes, I have.
But that's where I come from, and I'm a lot milder.
Yeah.
I'm all the way toned down at this stage of my life, but 19 years old, between 19 and I would say, especially, younger than 19, but at 19 I was an adult. So, but I was abusive even as a 10-year-old to men, not women, to men. I would beat my brother's friends up. I used to fight men.
Wow.
I used to weight lift. I specifically would go to weight conditioning class to get strong.
To beat up a man.
To beat the hell out of somebody's son. But I was traumatized. From what I witnessed growing up.
Yeah.
My father would beat my mother. And so I remember the day I made a promise to myself, a man will never touch me. I would never allow a man to hurt me like that. Mm-hmm. And I lost all fear.
Yeah.
Because you can't, what I saw, will make you fearless. And so I grew up abusive. I used to beat my boyfriends up, and sometimes I'm still abusive. I still have abusive tendencies. More verbal, probably, nowadays.
More of a verbal than a physical.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's something that I work on every day.
Mm-hmm. And that's good.
Mm-hmm.
Because, a lot of people just can't.
Yeah, I used to.
They carry that,
be a hot mess.
See, my mom,
mm-hmm.
My mom told me this story. When she was growing up, she was abused.
Mm-hmm.
Her father abused her and her brother.
Mm-hmm.
And so my mom, growing up, she was so afraid to have children because she didn't want to be like her father.
Exactly.
So, God bless my mom's soul.
Mm-hmm.
But she had it rough when she was growing up.
Right.
And she never really got into all the details with us. She just really just didn't. She would tell me stories where her dad would go into the bedroom and he wouldn't do it to her, but he would do it to her brother, her baby brother. He would snatch him out of the bed
mm-hmm.
by his feet and let him hit the floor and tell him to get up. I mean, he would just snatch him out of the bed.
Yeah, that's abuse. That's clearly abuse.
Yeah, I don't know if he abused my mom's mom. I don't know, because I really never, because I never, when my mom got married to my father, she had my sister, then she had my brother, then she had me. I never knew my grandfather.
Okay.
He passed away before I was even born. So I never really knew him.
Right.
My sister knew him a little bit, but not that much. My brother, not so much. So, you know, she would tell us stories, but she wouldn't really go into a whole lot of details.
Right, and a lot of people don't like to talk about that type of trauma. Me personally, when I was growing up, I didn't talk about it. I knew not to.
Mm-hmm.
I knew I better not go to school and tell anybody anything.
That is true.
So I grew up, you know, not speaking about a lot of things that were happening at home. And but as I got older and I needed to heal, I had to start talking. The people that were involved in the abuse, they don't like to talk about it. They had to come to their own healing about it, and I do believe that their way of healing from that is to just put that whole experience in the grave and like it never existed. And that's how that person had to heal. And I had to understand that there are everybody heals differently.
They do.
Because for a while I never understood how a person could act like something never happened, or don't want to address it or talk about it, but then I realized that is what I needed to do to heal.
Yeah.
So
and
I
good,
talk about
and
it.
the thing is, it's good to talk about it, because if you don't talk about it, it's gonna eat you up.
And I have to explain it because I can be abusive, and so sometimes I have to tell people that I care about and the people that I'm around, like, look, these are my experiences, and I'm healing from trauma, and this is why I may react a certain way or respond a certain way or blow up, you know, when it's not warranted. And I'm working on me. So I have to be honest about who I am, where I come from. And I feel like a lot of people that don't do that, you know, are the people that sometimes snap.
Yeah.
They'll snap eventually, you know.
That's true. And the thing is I feel like, you know, as, you know, with black and white, we don't know each other very well.
That's right.
You know, this is how we get to know each other by, you know, there's always, you know, you have all these different things that are going on in the world, and they're just, it's, you know, they're setting black against white, white against black. It don't need to be that way.
That's
you know, to me, we're in this world. Together. We have to learn to live together. We have to learn to be, you know, get to know each other, know their cultures, know our cultures, know where we came from, where you came from. That's what we really need in this world, is the people need to start learning about each other, about, okay, your neighbor Joe Dirt or something next door, you know, he's totally odd, he's weird. No, you get to know him, and then you understand why he's that way.
That's right. Exactly. Because I mean, speaking on it, because, you know, working in a shop that's primarily a white salon, I get a lot of nasty looks and a lot of nasty comments, you know, and I just ignore them because I'm used to it. You know, sometimes I respond and I lower myself to their level and say a little smart shit back, but people don't know me, you know. They don't know. I have a German mother, you know, but if you look at me, you won't know that. Exactly.
But Germans are crazy.
They are.
They're
so
crazy.
Not to mention my trauma, I got the German bloodline running through me strong.
So do I.
Look at these legs. These are not black girl legs. Like, black girls don't have them big old legs like that. They don't. Them Germans. They're the Germans. They're them Germans. They don't. They might got them big butts, but they don't got them thick legs.
Well, see, the thing is with me, I have Native American, and I do have German, and I do have Dutch. all in, our family, Ancestry.com, if you ever do that.
I want to do Ancestry.com. You did that?
My sister and my mom did. When my mom was still living, they did that. And
Okay.
they found out that, which my dad is Native American. He's from the north.
Mhm.
So if you look at my dad, you haven't.
I haven't met your dad.
My dad looks Native American. He really
Really?
does. Yes. So they did this ancestry.
You look Native American now that you're saying that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can see it all in here.
Yep.
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 Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah,
all
I can
that-
see that.
Yeah. So, my mom and my sister did this Ancestry.com thing,
Mm-hmm.
and we found out, we have Native American, Dutch, German, British, just different
European, more European,
more European in
mhm.
our
DNA.
DNA.
Yeah.
So, which is really cool.
It is.
Come to find out, we also did find out that we're descendants of George Washington.
Nice. See?
And we do have.
So you come from presidential.
And we do have royalty
See?
in our family
Exactly.
as well. I don't know much about it, but
Probably from the German side
Probably
somewhere.
German
I don't know.
side.
But
I don't
I'm
know,
partial
but,
because I'm German too.
But
and
my
I got
dad,
royalty.
being Native American, he was telling me that he told me this a couple weeks ago. He said that he did something with Native American. It was the Creek Native American that with my dad being Native American, and if we were raised in the Native American culture, my dad would be considered, of course, the chief, and then I would be considered the chief's princess and prince.
See?
So that was the royalty in the
Right.
Native American
Right.
lineage. So
That is so funny that you touch on this, because that was another topic that I was going to ask. Like, does your culture, whatever your culture may be, does it have like things like that? Like a hierarchy of rank, so to speak. You know what I mean? So that's funny that you touched on that. And that's good to know.
I didn't know.
Right.
My sister and my mom was doing this, and of course started costing more money. But they do have this thing now that it's Ancestry DNA kit that you can order
it,
and you do it.
Right.
I got one for Christmas 2 years ago and still haven't done it. So I keep on forgetting it's there. But yeah, so when you find out more about where you come from and just the different things, like when the way I was raised, to, be compassionate about things, love everybody no matter what. I was also raised to, like I told you earlier, get back up and keep on going. You can't just stop.
Right.
When things don't go your way, you just can't stop. You have to keep going. You have to keep on moving forward. Because if not, you're not going to get anywhere. You're just going to be there.
Right.
So, and that's not, the way I was raised was not raised that way. I was raised Southern Baptist, big thing about the Christian, and the church thing. And, so that's just how I was raised.
Right.
I was raised more of the Christian type,
Right.
Religion. But off of that, like I said, I didn't really, everything that way I was raised is totally different from someone else.
Right.
And people are like, why are you so different from me? I said, well, I was raised different.
Right.
The cultures are different.
That's right.
If you're Southern Baptist, or if you're Catholic,
Right.
or if you're Methodist, or
Right.
whatever, we
Exactly.
all are
You're all Christian.
all Christian, but
They have different
portions.
Exactly.
So,
different
but yeah.
branches or denominations, basically is what it's called. Yeah.
Yeah.
As far as church, I was raised Catholic, and then as I got older, I started, joining different churches: Baptist, Apostolic, Pentecostal. I studied a little bit of Jehovah Witness and the Nation of Islam. Just because I don't like to be I don't like to not know. I don't like for people to come to me and try to indoctrinate me. Like give me their knowledge, and I don't know where this knowledge comes from. So I like to do my own.
Bottle's done.
I like to do my own research and my own studying, and I've just basically adopted. I'm a non-denomination type of person. From all the churches and mosques and halls and studying. I studied ancient Egyptian scrolls. I've done a lot of studying on religion, and pretty much, to me, they all have the same message.
All the same message, all the same
They do.
form.
They have all the same message.
form, but it's in different forms.
Yeah, it's just a different experience for a person. Like, God, I feel, will reach his people the way he needs to reach his people. So that can come in many different forms. Yeah. And so I don't point the finger and say, oh, this is not right, this is right. No.
I don't either.
Because who are we?
That's true.
To do that.
That's true. We're not.
Right.
We're not to judge each other.
Even the Muslims believe in Jesus. A lot of people don't know that. They don't know that. They just think they don't know because they've never even took the time to find out the truth.
That's true.
They just listen to whatever somebody else
says. Exactly. Well, the thing is, not religion is good, but there are other things, that we were taught not to believe in.
That's right.
Okay.
And you coming from a Native American background,
yes, that's
a lot of
spiritual,
Wicca. They call it
herbal,
witchcraft.
Witchcraft. But it's just
It's different.
It's not all black and white.
It's not.
It's not. Okay, there is, as Christians, we were raised that you have to go by this, and I'm not down to playing any religion.
Me either.
I mean,
no,
but they
we love you all.
Always, we love you all, but
we love you like Jesus.
They just really, especially my parents. They were all about, oh, you can't believe in this, and you can't believe in this, and you can't believe in this. But see, the thing is how not to. I mean, in school, when you were in high school, what was history? History was about different things. It wasn't about Christianity. It was history.
It was about past events.
Past events, with, different things.
Different recordings of past events.
Exactly. So,
Same deal.
Exactly. So,
His story.
Exactly. I'm one of those, I don't believe in just one. I believe in everything. Because
you're a universal
type of person, because you always got to keep your mind open to things. Because if you don't, you're like, oh, really? That really would happen? Right. Are you serious? You just got to keep your mind open, and just, I don't know. It's just kind of weird.
Exactly. So there we have it.
That
might be our closing.
Yes.
Our closing statement. Keep your mind open to differences in different people. Love one another. Learn from one another, because we do mirror one another.
We do.
No matter what you believe, we are all in this together. So we hope that we can send you peace, love, and harmony, and unity. And we're gonna be out.
Peace.